Do you have nothing to do? Are you bored out of your mind? Are you tired of staring at the ceiling 6 hours every day? Well, have I got the solution for you. The #1 kitchen cleaning tool, the power of OxyClean. It gets the tough stains out. I'm sorry guys, I just wanted to do something other than hi guys as an intro. Hi guys! So I know for a lot of you, quarantine has been pretty boring, and for me too, it's also been a drag. Week 3 of staying at home hits pretty hard. I've been spending my time and keeping myself occupied in one way through watching a lot of movies, especially those designed for kids. I've found to be really fun, and I just love them, and I've watched a ton, which is why right now I'd like to recommend to you my top 5 greatest kids movies of all time. So, in #5, we have Iron Man. I really like this movie. I think there was a lot of great character development with Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man as a whole. He completely transforms, and you can see that from his first appearance in that Hummer.
Please, no gang signs. No, throw it up, I'm kidding.
To the last appearance at the press conference.
I am Iron Man.
You can see how much he's changed, and it really shapes up the entire MCU franchise for the years to come. I also really like the soundtrack and the whole score by Ramin Djawadi. I like the sounds when I work. It's helped me become a little bit more productive. Overall, really great movie. So next up is #4, which is Megamind. Megamind is a movie that I really underappreciated as a kid. I didn't really understand the movie. I sort of just brushed past it, collected a few of the details, which is why I don't think this movie is actually intended for like such a young audience. Really, to get all of the nuances of the movie and to truly appreciate it, I think it's meant for, more mature audiences. It's not like sleazy jokes or corny jokes that only adults would get, but genuinely the plot is just more complex, and it's not as black and white as bad guy loses, good guy wins. No, it's not like that at all. In fact, it was just so different than what I was used to watching at the time on TV with Power Rangers. It was unpredictable, it was mercurial, and for that reason, I love it. I wish I loved it more in the past, especially given its all-star cast with Will Ferrell, Tina Fey, and Jonah Hill, all voicing different characters, just making the movie much more funny, which makes this one of the greatest kids movies in my opinion. I cannot proceed without addressing the one that won the Oscar, Spiderman Into the Spiderverse. This is an awesome movie. I really liked it. #1, there's a completely different, unique art style. Obviously, you can see that a lot of the animation is very realistic, but I think it was going more for like the comic book vibe, and you can see that with like the words coming on the screen at all different times, and that whole cartoony glitch vibe, I think just gives it more of a presence because it blends really well into the music, which is something entirely different. It's outstanding. You can listen to a section of it right now. That was the main Miles Morales theme. Another thing about the music is What's Up Danger, Sunflower, Elevate, great songs on their own, and when put into the context of the movie, I think they were great choices. You can hear the themes of both the old Spider-Man as well as the new Spider-Man, Miles Morales, coming together and really creating something new and something meaningful, which I think is very representative of this movie. This movie breaks tradition, but also maintains it, right? It's the same theme overall. It's the whole theme of family, right? Kingpin's trying to bring back his family.
Yes. Reggie! No!
Miles is having, some family issues. He's feeling a little bit disconnected from his family.
I love you, Miles.
Yeah, I know, Dad.
You gotta say I love you back.
And in turn, Kingpin ultimately loses his family again, and Miles creates a new one. And really, it was just a change in perspective. And I really appreciate that. And that was a very smart take on, the traditional Spider-Man story. So in second place, we have WALL-E. And WALL-E is a movie that I love. I watched it in the movie theaters when I was a kid. I loved it then. I still love it now. I love it even more now, just because I can understand more of it. But I think that at its core, what it is it's a PSA for humanity. But it never poses itself that way. I think the reason why it's so successful is because it appeals to both younger as well as older audiences. The younger audiences can witness the camaraderie and companionship of WALL-E, Evie, and the whole defunct robot cast at the end. But for the older audiences, it allows them to reflect on where humanity is going, while never actually explicitly stating itself as a PSA. It's very subtle, but the great thing about this movie is that there's something in it for everyone. Whether you're a 6-year-old who's watching it for the first time and likes the silly robot who can do the thing with his eyes, or the 60-year-old man who's reflected on the technological developments throughout his life and can really question whether it's been for good or for the bad.
Officials are closing schools in New Delhi, and flights have been unable to land in the thick smog.
The music for WALL-E was amazing. It was stellar. The feeling of space and the wonder and the beauty of it blends so well with the music. There's one selection that I love in particular. It's called Define Dancing, and it's just so nice. And when you watch in the movie, it looks beautiful. It's when WALL-E is drifting out in space, propelling himself with a fire extinguisher, which is cute and, you know, it just makes you feel like a kid again. Alright, so this would not be a proper Watch Mojo video if we didn't have any honorable mentions, which is why we have 2 honorable mentions here today. So one of them is Kubo and the Two Strings, which is an awesome movie. I really like this movie. I like the style they had for claymation. But this isn't something new. I've seen, you know, movies or skits and shows with claymation as a style in the past. It's not anything jaw-dropping, but I really like the fact that they made a whole movie out of it. It's certainly unique. But I think the main thing that differentiates it is that whole theme of family and music as a uniting element. From Kubo going as a kid who doesn't really know a ton about his past, to recognizing that through meeting his family, his mother and father, in the forms of a beetle and a monkey, is incredible. There's lots of witty humor. There's a lot of funny jokes in there, a lot of sly one-liners, especially by Beetle. I love Beetle.
First question. If I'm Beetle and you're Monkey, why isn't he called Boy? Oh boy.
So the next one is Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda I really like because, well, let's be real. Jack Black sounds
Awesome.
I really like the message behind the whole movie of believing in yourself. And there is no secret ingredient. And I think that was a really, really smart move to have that, you know, as opposed to a bland, predictable, oh, what is the secret super weapon hidden in the scroll that I can use to defeat my enemy? The way that the writers created the script, it's not cheesy at all, because they had this message throughout the entire movie. It's not just at that ending scene, it's also at that peace tree.
Maybe I should just quit and go back to making noodles.
Quit, don't quit. Noodles, don't noodles. You are too concerned with what was and what will be. There's a saying, yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why it is called the present.
I think it's a really beautiful story about growth and about confidence, because it's really all about perception. And obviously this is a very, very deep message, right? But I wouldn't have gotten it unless there was some witty humor and there was a lot of funny stuff in Kung Fu Panda. It was side-splitting and thought-provoking and insightful at the same time. It's a movie that made you feel good while you watched it, and it made you feel good after you watched it. I also want to point out that the music here, I don't feel has been as appreciated as some other movies, but I really liked it. Composed by Hans Zimmer, great soundtrack. Which brings me to the last movie. Okay, so I'm editing, and just a disclaimer, I don't know if this is a kid's movie. Maybe it's a weird kid, and I watched this and I actually liked it when I was a kid. Enjoy the rest of the video. So, in the top spot, we have The Dark Knight. Incredible film. You cannot even commentate on how great this movie was without describing Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker. That was some awesome method acting. I mean, he really got into the part. He played the part really well. But what I love about this movie is that it's got a concept to it, right?
You know what I noticed? Nobody panics when things go according to plan. Even if the plan is horrifying. If tomorrow I tell the press that like a gangbanger will get shot, or a truckload of soldiers will be blowing up, nobody panics. Because it's all part of the plan. But when I say that one little old mare will die, well, then everyone loses their minds.
This is a really great message that I think the Joker really hits on. The fact that this is sort of natural human instinct, and it's society who has been corrupting man to believe in things like order as opposed to disorder and entropy. So that's his whole message. The thing that I really admire about, the way this was written, obviously this was derived from comics. So the thing I admire about that is the fact that the Joker's motivation is never money or power. It's about creating more anarchy.
It's not about money. It's about sending a message. Everything burns.
And letting people just be who they are without all of these societal restrictions and limitations. Even though that's a train wreck of an idea, it's actually a little bit deep when you think about it. You know what else is deep? The score. The score is amazing. Also by Hans Zimmer. This one is really action-packed where you need it, really emotional when you need it. It plays really well into the whole narrative. If there's one song I want you to check out from there, it's called A Watchful Guardian. And yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Those are our, I'm not Watch Mojo. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Please go check out those movies. Some of them are on Netflix, some of them aren't. Please like the video if you really like watching it. Comment down below about your top movie picks. Share with your friends if you think it was worth sharing, and please subscribe.